Good day, viewers. Thanks once again for joining us from the Pro Soccer Studio. This week, we'll be going to give you the Pro Soccer Goal of the Week for the AFFAN Super League Week 1 and Week 2, which was played just last weekend. I'm 100% sure you enjoyed every single one of the games. 6 matches in total were played with 13 goals. Before we proceed to the best goals, we'll be analyzing some of the goals that were scored. The first goal. Joining you is NWANERI Richard, and with me is
Paul ONYEOZIRILA.
Okay, so the first game was actually a very dicey one between Stanik FC and Wesco FC. Wesco are the current, the defending champion for the league. They were able to do superbly well last season. This season, they are definitely looking forward to retain the trophy. They had to welcome Stanik, who are new to the AFFAN Super League. So it was kind of a very, how do you say it, the game?
Yes.
Wesco actually won 2-0. You know, I told you that game was going to be a way to actually test if Stanik were prepared with the numerous kind of scouting they've carried out across Nigeria in the past few months. So, yeah.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Wesco would be a hard nut for Stanik to crack.
Yeah.
And truly it did came to pass. Though it was a very lovely game, but the supremacy had to show itself.
Well, you can see I wouldn't even know what to say here, because this first goal was from a defensive error from Stanik, the defender Odi Austin. There was really no reason why he would have lost this ball. All he needed to do was to just give a simple one there to his right back, but I don't know if he was under pressure, if he was just not aware of his surrounding. But it was a perfect finish from Moshood, who gave his team the first goal to start a superb match. So,
should I call this a pressure? When should I follow your word by accepting that he was under pressure? No, because like you rightly said, he has every opportunity to just give the ball one tap, one pass, or a touch.
Yeah.
To his own player. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
But I don't know what he intended doing, and what could have brought him down that made him fail, knowing fully well that he's the last man, and after you is direct to the post. And kudos to the attacker. Moshood, who was very clinical.
Yeah, that goal was a perfect finish. Perfectly placed into the back of the net. For me, I was actually expecting he was going to beat the goalkeeper, like to.
That was what I thought.
The goal is a goal. It was perfectly placed. A superb dribblation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be going up to our next goal. So for this game between Superstar and Stanik, I don't know, but that true pass first of all was a very brilliant one there from Razak. Although my own take on that goal was, I think the defender Uzochukwu, he actually had the chance to intercept that ball before it actually beat him. If you look closely, you realize the ball, I think, went. It was very technical through pass, quite alright. But then I felt a sliding tackle there should have actually been able to clear that ball out to the throwing line or something. Especially knowing fully well that he had a striker who's as dangerous as David just next to you. There's no way you'd want to allow that ball pass you by.
Looking at this goal in particular, like you rightly said, the defender Uzochukwu, a slide would have solved this problem, but taking it away from sliding, a little addition to your run as a defender should be able to save a whole lot of problems. And not leaving this goal, I would equally talk about the goalkeeper, because at this moment I never expected the goalkeeper to rush to come out, because the defender has even stopped their run.
Yeah, but for me, I think he was already ahead of the. He was already ahead of the two attackers, the two defenders. I mean, at that point there was clearly almost no chance for the keeper to be able to intercept the ball if he was to wait on his goal line. So for me, I wouldn't really say it was a mistake from the goalkeeper, because if you take a pause, right on this point, you realize if that keeper actually had not even come out to make an attempt, clearly the ball would have just been so easy for him to have been able to chip. He had already beat his the two centre backs. So for me, that wouldn't blame the keeper. Where I would actually still blame the individual I would still blame is Uzochukwu, who failed to intercept that troopers.
Looking at it in another way, excuse me, looking at it from other angle, taking the back, taking the back and the pass, the true pass, you will notice that the two central defenders, they were not even conscious of the attacker.
Yes,
they left him right in their middle. Now, if Uzochukwu, let's say Uzochukwu is on the verge of waiting or looking for how to cut this pass, what was the other one who was facing the attacker doing? He was seeing the attacker. So you were meant to cover up.
Yeah.
If Uzochukwu didn't get the ball, you were supposed to be there to cover, because you were seeing him direct up to you. So the two defenders, I believe, they got it somewhere wrong.
Okay, but what do you have to say about this finish from Adibola David?
Well, it's I will call it should I name it a complete finish, because after the interception by the goalkeeper, he didn't give up.
Yeah.
If you watch him, he staggered, yet he gained his ground, still hit the ball a second time. Then I believe Uzochukwu still had another opportunity to stretch his leg there before he hits the ball, yet he never did. So the defense, they just need to go back to the drawing board and get things done.
Yeah, that's a great one. So we'll be moving on to the next goal. This was the game between Superstar United and Raquel. Raquel actually had a free kick where Superstar decided to keep the players off. So I think they drew a line out just to make sure at least there will be lots of gap for probably the goalkeepers to be able to rush out to intercept, or maybe hopefully get maybe set the Raquel players in an offside position. But then the first error I noticed was most of the Superstar players were just majorly focused on the ball. They were not even mindful of the Raquel attackers behind them. If you notice, the goal scorer was just like standing freely even when the cross actually came in. One of the Superstar players even kept him on track, so onside. I mean, so yeah, that was actually just a very easy one there for Raquel. I think the defensive error, I think the Superstar needs to check themselves defensively in order to prevent things like this from Raquel. Actually, knowing fully well that Raquel converted, I think, 2 or 3 set piece in the first week of the AFFAN Super League. So you really want to be very careful when it comes to set pieces against a team such as this.
Well, looking at this goal, from the onset, the marking of the team, Superstar United,
Yeah.
I believe it's an outdated way of marking, because this is a zonal marking. Are you getting it? This is zonal marking where all the defenders, like you said, they feel or they want to keep this opponent off the game, what we call offside. Now, before the kick, look at the two players from Superstar United were in the same, almost in the same position, and the other one putting the opponent, who later scored the goal, onside.
Yeah.
So these things need to be corrected. Like you said, they have scored from set pieces in this same tournament, which you know. Yet, when it comes to set pieces, you don't need a zonal marking at this moment. You just need what? A one-on-one marking, man-on-man.
Moving on to the next goal. This was a game between Switch FA and EKFC. For me, I think Switch FA really did very bad there in terms of their defensive decision. There were lots of things that could have been done to prevent this goal from taking place. Even though EKFC also finished and took advantage of the defensive error. For the first thing I noticed was the gap in between the defensive players was extremely wide, from the left back to the centre back, the defensive midfielder, extremely wide. Now, if you notice, none of them even actually took advantage of that space. EKFC, you could actually see they took advantage of spreading out their opponents and leaving that center space so they could actually take advantage. Now, you definitely don't want to leave this kind of gap in between. I expected when the left back held the ball, one of them should clearly have gone into that space to fill in that space to be able to get the ball and not just leave that kind of gap. But now they refuse to do that, and what happened? They lost the ball, and you can actually see how slow they were to trying to also support the defense when they lost the ball, and EKFC just were able to take advantage. So in particular, if you actually check the runs of the left back, I think either he had already gassed out or because he didn't really offer much support. He came in just a few seconds before the ball went into the box 18, jogging back into the box 18. So for me, that goal was one that I felt they could have been able to prevent. The defensive error was very obvious. They left lots of gap in between. This is the AFFAN Super League. You have lots of talented attackers in this game. You clearly don't want to make errors like this. You clearly don't want to make errors like this. They'll definitely take advantage of it. So for me, that was actually my take on that goal.
Now, my own take on this goal is the left fullback. The goalkeeper had given him the ball. Now nobody was opening in the space to collect the ball from you, and you are having the two opponents, the outside right and the attacker, close to you. What you are meant to do is kick the ball out. Don't try to make pass where the both attackers are close to you. That's just where the fault I noticed in the left fullback. I don't know if you're getting it. Now, he also coming back and trying to win the ball back it could have resulted to a penalty if he had slided worse or tougher than the way he did.
Would you have wanted a penalty in that situation?
No. I said if he had done worse or harder, it could have resulted to a penalty because he was trying to salvage or handle the situation. But at this moment, like you rightly said, they should know when to open into the space. I mean, his colleagues, his teammates should know when there's an opening somewhere on the field so that you open up to save a situation like this.
I mean, from the beginning, you would even notice the keeper, the way he was actually opening up also for the players. Like, so many of them were not really focused on how could they actually get this ball back from him. I would say the keeper was kind of at the point even almost backing the ball. He was focused on the ball, but his body movement was in the other direction, not willing to receive the ball. And the left fullback was also just pointing towards him, either clearing the ball out. The defensive midfielder was also just backing the ball. So issues like this are clearly not what you want to be doing in this league. You have lots of talented attackers in this league. You've seen lots of lovely goals from the players of this Superstar United, Stanik, Westco and the likes. You clearly don't want to give them this kind of chance. Everyone should be hungry to want to get the ball. Everyone should always face the ball. Try to get the ball from your teammates. Don't shy away from the ball. You can actually from the defensive line. You always want to make sure you open for the ball. That way, you would actually give more confidence to your player who is currently with the ball to know that okay, he has more options to be able to distribute passes instead of everyone trying to shy away from it. So for me, it was actually a very cheap goal to have been considered here by Switch FA. They did very poorly also in terms of trying to recover from that mistake. The left centre back actually tried his best, but then it was already too late. There was only very little contribution from the left full back, who probably was already gassed out by the time when this goal was scored or something, because his ability to recover was extremely low.
At the same time, looking at the attacker, I believe he did fantastic. I believe
that's Prince Mika.
Yeah, Prince Micah.
Prince Micah.
Yeah. If you check the rebound.
Yeah.
So many people, I don't know. I'm just talking from my own point of view. Yes, so many people would have wanted to control that ball, but he was. If you check with the rebound, the other defender was quick enough to come, but before then, he has already made his decision.
Yeah.
So and it resulted to a very wonderful goal.
That's why I don't want to make those kind of errors in your defensive line in this league. So we'll be moving on to the next goal, and this goal was actually a very
collective
very
error.
fantastic goal. In fact, this one was a collective error, like I said.
Yeah.
And what made this goal special was Switch FA actually equalized in the 93rd minute of the match, the final minutes. That was why the attacker Osuji Kosi was very willing to even take off his shirt into the jubilation. Like the entire stadium was very thrilled by this goal. First of all, you could see the error is very plain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 EK players just there in the box, not marking anybody, and they knew this was the final. This was the last minute of the match. There's no way you'd be 7 in your box 18, and you have all of your opponents in the other side, just for 2 people to hold about 6 Switch FC players in the 93rd minute. So this was a collective error, like you said. Just a wonderful cross, a perfect finish. The Switch FA players are also of good height, and there was no way they were going to miss this one.
This goal didn't come as a result of a continuous play. It came from a corner kick.
Yeah.
That shows that the EK players they lack some techniques regarding when it comes to situations like this. Because during a corner kick, and you're seeing a player standing waiting for a pass from the corner flank, the person that wants to take the corner, the player waiting, somebody should have stepped up. Somebody should have stepped closer to know that this man is trying to wait for a pass. Yeah. When he receives it, I need to attack him. Yeah. Now the 7 of you went and stayed in the defense. And
of course, no.
So this is a collective error, and needs to be tackled, need to be addressed by the coach. In other words, the coach needs to go back to the drawing board and show them that in situations like this, like you said, last minute.
Yeah, of course.
Last minute. Even if I happen to score such a goal, I believe I will not even only remove my jerseys. I could remove both my boots and my tug.
So we're moving on to the next goal, and this goal was scored by Wesco against Stanik FC. Stanik FC, like we said, we're just being welcomed into the league. This was their opening match, and they've already made one defensive error to give Wesco an early lead in the match. So I actually expected them to do better, at least to the end of the game. But then they made another error in this goal. If you notice their lack of concentration when it comes to man-marking their players, especially from the fullbacks in the first match, actually caused them some of these errors. You don't give an attacker this kind of space to go into your box 18, because just one troopers and he's already facing the goalpost. So for me, this is something they could have prevented. If you have noticed, right from when the ball was actually going to be thrown, their focus was never even in protecting their box 18. Everyone's eyes was just on the ball. They were not really thinking about the next move of their the opponents, and I think that was what actually made them consider this goal easily.
To me, looking at this goal, I don't know how best to explain this, because the same guy who nodded the ball turned from the defender right in front of the defender, entered the 18-yard, created a space for a pass, and the defender happens to be there looking at him. I don't know what to say. I don't know what exactly to say about this. Should I say the defender lacks what it means, or lacks the understanding of being a defender?
Would you say he was probably trying to keep an offside track?
You wouldn't say he's trying to keep an offside track, because this is a situation where we have more than 1, 2, 3 players at a goal. Now, if you say you want to keep an offside track, don't forget the same player nodded the ball right in your front, and you happen to be at the back. So for him to turn from your body, it's no man offside. So you now, I don't know if I would say it's laziness or so. I don't know.
Okay, but then what will you say about the finish?
Yeah, the finish, I would say the finish is a top notch, because looking at the goal, Anybody could think the attacker will hit to the first bar. Instead, he used the nearby.
Well, this was a very superb finish from Adura Peter. Very wonderful finish. Just a very easy place there for him to give his team the seal of the 3 points. There are lots of wonderful attackers in the AFFAN Super League. What do you have from what you've seen so far?
What I've seen so far is I've seen attackers who has the goal sense, who knows what it means to finish.
Their finishing technique.
Yes, who knows what it means to finish clinically. And I believe sometimes I believe it's as a result of the league itself. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
The standard of the league. You know, a league that has come to stay. I believe this will be the second or the third edition of the league.
The fifth edition.
The fifth edition. So every coach
always produce super players.
Thank you. Yeah. The players has been transferred abroad through this league. So definitely every coach knows what they've been telling their attackers. Say in the area of come on, do the best, do what you know how to do, be clinical, and you, God willing, you might get a contract through the league.
Yeah, okay. So we'll be moving on to the next goal, and this goal was for Superstar United against Raquel. That game was very superb game. Two goals apiece. This goal is clearly one of the contenders for the goal of the week. We haven't officially released our list, but then this was a very superb goal from outside the box 18 for Superstar. A very wonderful finish there by Ajibola David. Very confidently taken. But then if I'm to map out some of the errors from Raquel, this was kind of a technical error. I actually felt for this one, he had very few options. They created a very big gap in between, just like Switch, I think, did against Ike. What I actually expected from the centre back was either you give the ball to your right back and you go to the centre to fill up the space, or the keeper was also there. You give it to your keeper and you also go into the center to fill up the space instead of trying to make a long pass to a player that is yards away. So, because what you need to understand is anything that actually makes you lose this ball from this point, it's just a one-way traffic to your goalpost, and that's what you always want to prevent. That's why most coaches always tell their players when you can't make the decision or when you're not 100% sure of giving an accurate pass from behind, just clear the ball. But it's not always a good thing as a grassroots team to always clear from the center back, so from your defense line. So what we always expect is at least try to make the right decisions when you are in situations like this. Try to fill in the space. Try to give as much options as possible to your defenders to be able to receive the pass. That way, they don't have to always think of clearing the ball. And even if they are going to pass, let it be in a situation where they are 100% sure of an accurate pass.
Now, looking at this error, I would say it's really a blunder for a central defender in a modern day football. Now, in modern day football, we've come to realize that goalkeepers can play football even better than some players. So why didn't you play with the goalkeeper? Now, if you must hit the ball away from your 18, that means you need to, how do they say it? You need to pump. You need to pump the lap to hit the ball so distant. But this was too cheap to lose. He has a chance. He has a whole chance to arrange himself and hit the ball.
But the thing is, even if he didn't want to give the ball directly to his goalkeeper, just give it to your right back.
Simple.
Fill in the space from the center.
Thank you.
Your goalkeeper has the chance of covering for you from where you were. You have the chance of opening for the right back, and I'm pretty sure the right winger was also somewhere down the corner. So, trying to take the decision into your hands of throwing a long pass that you're not sure of actually cost them this goal. And for the finish, it's actually a very super finish there by Ajibola David, who was clearly very confident of his strike. Like, he was just so sure that ball was going into the nets. But then, do you actually think the goalkeeper Miracle should have actually had a chance to save this?
You know, this is a rocket. These are the goals that made the likes of Van Persie whom they are, whom they were those years. The likes of Oyeroni. These were the rockets that the likes of Lampard they normally use. So most times goals like this doesn't require a whole lot of jubilation, because you don't even know how to jubilate. Looking at Ajibola David, he was like, wow, what do I still need to jubilate, because even myself, I never imagined it. Watching this match live, I never imagined him hitting that ball on that particular day.
But what would have happened if he had missed that goal? Would you have blamed him for not because he had at least probably three options there in the box 18. He probably could have also gone closer. But then, is it a thing of confidence, or is it a thing of
I normally say something about goal scoring or about football. Sometimes it's the thing of mind and the thing of your nerves.
Yeah.
Sometimes one thing I understand about football is immediately your nerves say hit, do it. But if you hesitate at that moment, that's when we will now say, this guy is stupid. This guy, I don't know if you're getting it,
yeah.
But immediately your mindset, your heart, your nerves says hit this ball, hit, and I believe you get a result.
The next goal is actually a super free kick scored by Raquel, and the free kick taker was Uzochukwu Emmanuel. Do you actually think the goalkeeper Sulaiman Akavi had a chance to prevent that goal? Because I think there was contact from the goalkeeper, but he still wasn't able to prevent it from going into the back of the net.
Yes, the free kick. It was a superb free kick. It was a very nice free kick by Uzochukwu Emmanuel. It was well picked, and the angle was well picked as well. He picked the ball from the ground well. So, but the goalkeeper, on the other hand, I felt he should have saved that ball with a punch.
Okay.
Because Uzochukwu Emmanuel,
very powerful left foot.
yes, and he narrowed the kick. He spotted the point at which he wanted it to enter, and that was how it was. So the goalkeeper would have gone for a punch instead of an open hand.
I think one thing that actually confused the goalkeeper there was, if you notice from the positioning, I think there was a possibility for two players to have actually hit that, and one is using his right foot, the other is using his left foot. So he really wasn't sure who exactly would be going for the strike.
Definitely, he wouldn't be sure, because it's not his own teammates that wants to play it. So it's none of his business who wants to play it. His business here is to save the ball. Who wants to play it shouldn't be his concern. You are seeing three players there. If you are saying you don't know if it is the right footer that wants to play it or the left footer, what about the third man? Are you saying you already know that they want to drop it for the man to hit a shot? Yeah. So definitely, we don't have a business concerning what you think at that moment as a goalkeeper. But all we know is, at that moment, technique needs to come in. If you check that goalkeeper, Akabi,
yeah,
before his dive, he moved 1-2 step. He moved 1-2 step. So that step was enough for him to use a punch.
Yeah, that's actually correct.
So next time, I believe he will just have to do better.
Wow. So this is actually all of our week one goals. 8 goals in total. Now, from what we've seen so far, we know the attackers are actually very superb when it comes to finishing. Technically, they are very sound. You clearly don't want to give them some chances. Not Superstar United, Adibola David, or even EK FC Prince Micah, or Switch FC Osuji Kosi. When it comes to finding the back of the net, these attackers are actually superb. Be it an aerial ball, be it a set piece, be it one-on-one, they've actually all proven themselves. The AFFAN Super League is actually a very good scouting ground when it comes to finding clinical attackers. I think there are lots of defensive games also. There were lots of defensive performance that were actually very convincing also. Unfortunately, you can't be 100% right all the time for the full 90 minutes. So I'm not saying the defenders in the league were making lots of errors all through. There were lots of decisions made by the defenders in the league that were actually very, very technical also. But then what you just want to understand is when you're playing a league like this with lots of clinical attackers, you have to be 100% focused. You can't let go of any part of the game. You can't like lose focus at any point of the game. The slightest error in your defense would always lead to a goal. You can't have someone like Davis that is willing, that's confidently willing. He has loaded the shot in his right leg even before the start of the game. You can't have someone in your game and in your box 18 and you are making a defensive error. He clearly take 100% advantage of it. And yeah, I think they've all shown that they are here to score goals. They are here to find the back of the nets. And yeah, we have other weeks to look into. We'll move into the week two of the AFFAN Super League, analyzing some of the goals. So we'll be able to pick out some of our best goals for the week one and two. Like I said, once again, I'm one Richard. And
Paul ONYEOZIRILA.
okay, so for the week two, we actually had Superstar United take on Stanik. Don't forget, Stanik had just been defeated by Wesco. They were not welcomed properly by the defending champions after two, will I say, two defensive error. Yeah, I
You
think the
said
second one.
you said they were not welcomed properly. They were, they were told they were told well that here wanna come. Eh? Now we will up. You know the other day we talked about the league.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
Superstar.
you said you are going for Wesco and I said I'm going for Stanik. If you remember,
Yeah.
I said but I'm still standing for Stanik because I've watched them play live on 2 or 3 occasions in Ijebu Day.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they welcome them well. They made them understand. They took, is it Wesco
Yeah,
that defeated them? Wesco just told them that, hey, listen, you are newcomers into this tournament.
Yeah.
Let's just show you what is happening here. And like our Nigerians would normally say, and they collected woto.
But then they actually took that same to Superstar, who are also the defensive champion of the Super Cup now from last season. So I would say they actually learned so much from their mistakes.
Thank you.
And in fact, Superstar, it's extremely difficult to actually defeat Superstar in this stadium. Extremely difficult. So I would say, yeah, because after the game, the technical manager of Stanik FC, I knew was extremely had so much to say to the players. They spent close to almost 30 minutes in the stadium, just like talking to the players and correcting lots of errors. And I'm 100% sure the players actually took some of those corrections. Because if you notice, they were much more defensive and minded against Superstar. Being able to hold players like David and the likes from even being able to get a single goal. But let's see how they got their 2 goals, and let's take this one first. So for me, this was the first error made by Superstar for this goal. Like we always say, try to always fill up the gap. If you actually notice the defensive line there, they were doing more of the man-to-man marking, although these full centre backs had just one attacker in between them, which was fine. But then they had the right fullback and the left fullback, everyone perfectly holding on to just one player. But then one problem with this kind of marking is most times your opponents would actually force you to create a very huge gap in between, and that's where you could actually make a problem. That's when your centre backs need to actually decide on who is going out to sit, mostly for the defensive midfielder who could have actually advanced a little bit, and if they should just keep to their defensive position of um, doing the man-to-man marking, which could expose lots of gaps. So the first error I would see here was the moment they got the ball, I expected someone to actually fill up that gap. You clearly don't want your player to be dribbling around or giving you the ball close to where you are just doing your man-to-man marking, because clearly you are marking someone, he's within your range. So once your opponents hold, your player is able to collect the ball, I expect everyone to try to create space, try to fill up the gap, try to open up for your teammate to be able to release the ball for you. Unfortunately, that wasn't done, and they lost the ball. And then, if you notice what happened when they lost the ball, the right fullback made the decision now to try to advance to that space, which was, I would say, where their problem actually started off from. Now, this is a league where you have lots of technical attackers, technical wingers. They'll definitely take advantage of everything, every opportunity they have. The moment he made that decision to go into that space, you could actually see Stanek where it took just that slight error. It took massive advantage of it. You could already see the attacker making a move towards the angle where the error was going to be taking place, because he knew clearly the ball should just be a one touch for either of them, and then Superstar United would be completely exposed. And they chose to go through the lefts. Now, this was already immediately a 3-on-3 situation from Superstar being 4 against 3. Now it's 3-on-3. If you also notice, I expected Stanley and Superstar to be able to recover as fast as they could, but then they were not able to recover on time, and Stanley were able to slot the ball into the back of the net. So for me, that was actually a very big defensive error from Superstar, from what I actually observed. It seems so tiny, but then when you play against a team that is very technical, like you said, Stanek is a technical side also. Errors like this, you don't want to make it. You can see where the right fullback is currently positioned. He just lets go of his player, making it difficult for his fullbacks to be able to contain the situation.
Now looking at this goal, it's heartbreaking when you see a defense making silly mistakes. It's so painful. Now, most times in a defense, we are not even talking about, most times in defense, when it comes to defensive errors, we are not talking about the the whole players, the four defense line. But in this situation, just check everything that happened here. Is a total fault of the four defense line. Now, the right full back, you didn't leave your position even from the onset, from before the ball was lost.
Yeah.
Check the game, check the video again, the footage. You will see that the right back even left his opponent at his back.
Go for the ball.
Are you getting it? While you are at your own 18, you left an opponent who is an enemy at your back. Later ran out of the place to come for a ball that you were not supposed to come for. That's number one. Number two is, check that same lineup. You will see that even before the error, before the pass, the attacker, it has already been in between the two defenders,
Yeah.
thereby trying to confuse them. If you see, he tried to run to the left if he will get the pass. Immediately he saw that his own player has gotten the pass, he ran back into the middle again. Now, the left full back now left his man totally, not even conscious of looking back to know the position of the man. Are you getting it? Now the man you left happened to be the goal scorer. This is what we're talking. If you check the video again, you will notice that the left full back didn't even look at his back to know if this man is close to the 18 or not. He was just concerned about looking at the ball.
But from my observation, I realized I wouldn't say he was 100% looking at the ball, because if you actually see where he was staring at, there was an incoming opponent going directly into the box 18. Now, from the position of this left winger from the Stanek team, he clearly could have given this pass to anyone. He had like 3 options. Like you said, the attacker was already in between the two centre backs, where one of them decided that, okay, I think they made that decision too late, but one of them had decided that, okay, we can't wait for him to bring this ball into our box 18, so let me try to approach him. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So now you are leaving your attacker with just one centre back, and he's directly in
front of the goalkeeper.
Front of the goalkeeper. So there's a very big chance that he will be able to score, if not even probably get a penalty, because the defender to mark him is just behind him. And there's another Stanek player just approaching the box 18. So if he even chooses not to give to the winger on the far right or gives to the attacker, he could also lay an easy one here for the incoming player. So I'll say this left back was just in a situation where he had to either stay with my man, because let's assume he chose to mark this man, then we are already leaving this.
Do you know in cases like this,
Yeah.
what you are meant to do? There's what we call primary assignment.
But yeah, my point is, if he chooses to stay with this player who eventually scored this
goal, he wouldn't stay
which is Aziz.
He wouldn't stay, he wouldn't sit with him, but he will be cautious of him. Check the gap. Check the gap. The gap is the man you're talking about that is coming from outside the 18 has someone chasing him already. Now, if you have someone coming direct from outside 18 and he has someone chasing him, most times I don't know if you notice it. Most times those players don't score such goals because they are always like someone is chasing me.
You saw the goal David scored against Raquel.
Yes, David. That's Ajibola. Yeah. Yes, David didn't have anybody chasing him.
So, but let me just assume this was David now making an entrance into the box 18, and there was a possibility to receive it.
Now, if David comes for this such ball, don't forget the ball he got, the ball he hit.
Yeah.
Immediately they try to hit the ball away, and it touches his leg. The ball rose.
Yeah.
So it's a clear indication that the ball has already told David, hits me. Are you getting it? But most times when this kind of balls come on the ground, you want to place. Sometimes the player want to place, and luckily the keeper could push. But you see, just check, it's a hit. Because it came to the leg, he uses.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to the next goal. The next goal is actually for Stanek again. Like we said, they defeated Superstar 2-0. But now this goal is actually a very funny one because, in fact, I don't understand what happened here. First of all, you had the ball already cleared out from a counter attack you carried out, and then you have just one task: prevent the attacker you're with from scoring the goal. And I realized the error from Asawuru Taiwo when he started drifting away from the attacker who should be preventing from scoring a goal. So I don't know, probably he lost sight of the ball. Probably he felt okay, I don't know where the ball is, let me just stay with my man, and he just assumed the ball will be going to the left or something. But if you notice, if you look closely, you realize for one reason or the other he just started drifting out from the course of the ball and was going towards the left hand side. And
watching this match, I laughed because it's been a very long time I saw defenders act this way. I don't know if you're getting it. How on earth would Asawuru Taiwo, knowing fully well that you are the only defender at that moment close to this man? Now, you are the man close to this man and you drifted away from the ball. You know it's a primary duty to go and block this man from scoring. Do you know why I disagreed with you saying probably you were thinking the ball will go to the left or to the right? Why I would disagree with you is check the video again. When I saw him being annoyed with the goalkeeper, challenging the goalkeeper for not coming out, then I realized that he was even drifting to one side, expecting the goalkeeper to come to the court. So that was why I laughed.
But do you think the goalkeeper should have come out?
At this moment, the goalkeeper is equally a problem in this goal. Because check the video, he came out and the ball was still far away from the attacker. So why were you going back? Check the goalkeeper started going back. So both the defender and the goalkeeper, they were just a little bit, there was just a little bit miscalculation in this situation. And Edidion showed us what it means to be a clinical striker.
Clinical striker, as we've always seen in the AFFAN Super League. There have been lots of clinical goals scored, and this next goal is actually one that is going to blow your mind. It's a goal from Raquel. They played against Switch FA, Switch FC. And I don't understand, like you said, just like the goalkeeper from the match between Superstar and Stanik, was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
between Superstar and Stanik. In fact, I don't understand why Ezekiel Francis would be coming out of his line to try to intercept this pass. You had lots of defenders that were still able to catch up with that pass. It's not like the ball was actually coming directly towards the box, it's in, or even going towards the corner area or something where you would have had more advantage. It was probably going towards the throwing side, and you just decided to exit your goalpost and try to intercept that pass. And this was a very, very clinical finish. Very, 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 very clinical finish there by Moses. What do you have to say about this goal?
What I would say is, it's like the week two. They announced it to all the goalkeepers that you must come out of your 18 yard. You must you must come do the defensive job, because I think the reason why what is it, Francis, right, the goalkeeper of what is Switch, he has no business coming out. This, in fact, do you know he came out of the 18-yard box? He got to the 19 yard or 20-yard box. Why? Why? And sometimes it's good for us to see players like this do something extraordinary. This was a very nice one from Moses.
Very superb
A
finish.
superb finish. A superb one.
Very, very, very superb finish.
He fell down. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And I know in cases like this, had it been the ball didn't enter, by now we should have been treating him. Because he was lie down there waiting for the goalkeeper to be yellow carded or red carded. But when you finish clinically like this,
Yeah.
automatically injuries are being healed. So a nice goal from
So
Moses.
we'll go to the next goal for Raquel. This one is for Raquel versus Switch. I would just say Raquel actually had a very fun day there playing against Switch. The Switch defenders actually had lots of, would I say their positioning was kind of poor, and Raquel is a technical side. They definitely were able to defeat the individuals who were marking them. When you could beat one and you beat two, it just opened up everywhere. At this point, you could see probably almost 4 Raquel players already approaching the box 18 against about 2 Switch defenders. So all he needed to do was just beat the 2 individuals right in front of him, and he knew his chances of goal would probably rise to about 80%. And yeah, he was able to find the back of the net. There was almost no way Raquel would be able to miss this one, not from what we've been able to see in their game against Superstar United. And yeah, they are very clinical when it comes to finding the back of the net. And this was just like every other goal they've scored, very clinical and very fantastic. What do you have to say about that goal?
First, I want to be reminded. I would like to be reminded. Is it Raquel or Switch? Which of them is new to
Raquel. Okay, they are both new.
the both of them are
They are both
new.
new to the.
Yes, but Raquel, they are not even playing like newcomers. They are really battling every.
Raquel actually was able to pull out a point from Superstar United, and if you watch that game, I haven't really seen Superstar United being as tense as they were against Raquel in the past couple of years. I think the only people that probably put Superstar United in that kind of tension are teams like Westco. Yeah, but against Raquel, I expected Superstar to be able to find it easy, but then Raquel were very technical, covering every single one of their positions. They're very fast also in their counter attacks. All type of attacks you could actually talk about, they carried out against Superstar, making sure they were able to get the 1 point, scoring 2 goals. So against which I just felt it was going to be an easy one for them. because watching the game between Switch and EK, don't forget Switch have already made some defensive errors and to give EK 1 point, and I just felt Raquel clearly should be able to find a way to break the defensive line for Switch. But then this goal for a player to be able to beat two of the Switch players that easy. It wasn't the way I was expecting the goals to actually come out.
There's no doubt, Raquel, they're really doing well.
Yeah, and don't forget they are only team. They are the only team from Lagos State in the tournaments from Badagry. For the final goal, we are going to be looking at one that's also very funny from the week two. It's actually the goal switch FA actually got against Raquel. This one was just purely the fault of the goalkeeper, and that's Miracle. I think Miracle already made one mistake previously in the last game, and conceding this kind of goal again. Although I think the last goal he considered was the stunner from David. Was the stunner from David. So comparing that one to this one, clearly you won't tell me this one now that he probably should have stopped the goal, but it was 100% Miracle's fault.
So looking at this goal, Miracle made a whole lot of blunder. Well, it's just a goalkeeper's fault, and we know.
Okay, so we'll be announcing our top four goals, our best goals of the week one and week two. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy top three picks.
Okay, thank you.